a special good evening to Senior Minister Austri, Honorable Kenneth Daru, my other colleagues, Sufuria constituency. Petit Savan, are you ready for Julian Defoe? Labour rise! I can feel your energy tonight. In the 2019 Dominica Labour Party Manifesto, we promised to deliver a dynamic Dominica with a dynamic economy. We were ready, geared up, and went to work to continue to transform our country, which had been ravaged by Hurricane Maria. I took my official duties as Minister for Tourism, International Transport, and Maritime Initiatives in January 2020, eager to get to work. And out of nowhere, without any warning, with no country having best practices or knowledge to share on how to prepare, the COVID-19 pandemic jumped in and the entire world was placed on lockdown. Many were justifiably in fear as the health, safety, and security of our people was under siege as death tolls rapidly rose in every country. Brothers and sisters, just as we did with Hurricane Maria, your Labour Party government was responsive and proactive in the fight to protect this country from unprecedented and catastrophic health crisis. And just like it was after Maria, your Labour Party government had to face it head on without any sort of bilateral collaboration in the name of putting country first. Ladies and gentlemen, when the other side went missing in your time of need, as they always do, your Labour Party government stood up and kept Dominica afloat. Labour!
Say we must win, Labour. No one can touch Labour. No one in pass again, Labour.
As soon as it became clear that COVID-19 was no longer isolated to Asia and was rapidly threatening the entire world, I met with local hospitality stakeholders as the tourism industry was the first to be severely impacted. Their plight almost brought me to tears. Right when it was reaching a cruising altitude, our tourism industry nosedived due to the global lockdowns. Just like that, hundreds of entrepreneurs were forced to shut down and send their employees home. The trickle-down effect was devastating. What did your government do? We went right to work. Your Dominica Labour Party government, led by the tried and battle-tested Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, went to work to save lives. 65 million was spent to fight COVID-19, and the results of our efforts are here for all to see. Labour! Dominica received the Safe Travel stamp from the World Travel and Tourism Council, as well as the #1 spot in Travel and Leisure's ranking of the best islands in the Caribbean for 2022. Our Safe in Nature certification program empowered 78 properties to remain functional during the pandemic. Labor! I work closely with my colleague, Honorable Dr. Irvin McIntyre, and regional tourism colleagues to accomplish this achievement. We liaise closely with the Florida Caribbean Cruise Association and Carnival Cruise Lines to restart the cruise industry as early as 2021. We officially resumed cruise operations in July of 2021, and based on reports and feedback, 2021 was one of the best years in recent times for vendors, tour guides, and taxi operators alike. Our cruise partners praised us for our progressive protocols and continue to appreciate the partnership that today has resulted in stronger relationships with the industry. Labor rights! Your government is working. Approximately 196 cruise calls are projected for the 2022-2023 cruise season. This translates to 314,938 cruise passengers compared to 189,334 passengers and 143 calls in 2019. So this season, we are expecting 66% more passengers and 37% more calls than 2019. Compared to the last season, we expect 125% more passengers. Imagine the economic activity and the buzz in the city, Roseau Valley, Soufriere, Portsmouth, Mero, and other popular tourism communities. At the height of the pandemic, I traveled to the US to meet with airline partners as the absence of LIAT severely restricted access to our destination. I had discussions with both Inter-Caribbean and Silver Airlines, who both agreed to improved schedules that ensure same-day connections from the United States to Dominica. This intervention meant that travelers would be relieved from overnight overlays to get to our beautiful island. And we didn't stop there. Tonight, I can proudly announce that thanks to the introduction of non-stop flights from Miami to Dominica, the USA has surged to become one of the best performing tourism markets for our country. Labor! Tonight, I can visitors, Dominicans living abroad, and business people are hailing this as a major success. And I can tell you, the quest to make Dominica the #1 destination in the region has just begun. And we are progressing with quite a few other airlines. One thing about your Labour government is that we are here to make things happen so that when we open our Roosevelt Skerrit International Airport, Labour, not have to be searching for airlines to come. We would already have established relationships in order to reach our targets of tripling visitor arrivals into our country. And I want to repeat our country, because when Roosevelt Skerritt decided to re-engineer the CBI for hotel development, the enemies of progress from the other side had plenty to say about the decision to increase our room stock. Fast forward to the present, and I can confirm that visitors are giving outstanding reviews about Kempinski Resort and Jungle Bay. Ladies and gentlemen, these CBI projects can now complement private developments to help diversify what accommodations the country has to offer. Coulibaly Ridge, located in Petit Coulibaly, Soufrière, is the first Caribbean property, the first, to become part of Beyond Green's global portfolio of sustainable hotels that represents sustainability leadership based upon action and impact. And there is great anticipation and excitement for the opening of Hilton Tranquility and Anishi Resorts, as well as the completed expansion of Secret Bay. Surely, it is clear for even the detractors from the other side to see and admit that investing in the hospitality industry was a wise and visionary decision. In fact, this year's successful Creole season has proven that we still need more rooms. Dominica is in so much demand as a destination that even after the completion of our existing hotel projects, we will only have 1,281 rooms. So there is still opportunity for more hotel development. St. Lucia, who is next door, has over 5,000 rooms. So Dominicans living here and abroad, here lies an opportunity for you to invest in your country. We have all the natural attractions, human resources needed to pull this off. This is not pie in the sky talk either. I meet with foreign investors regularly who say to me that Dominica is the place to invest now. This natural paradise and wellness heaven is every visitor's dream. So the accommodation sector, whether it's a hotel or Airbnb, is ripe for investment. Labor!
People to labor. What a wow, baby. Because they're building the country, building the country, building the country. We go to labor. Wow, wow. Because they're building the country, building the country.
When speaking to every small business owner, taxi, tour guide, farmer, fisher, shopkeeper, bar and restaurant owner, hairstylist, makeup artist, nail techs, boutiques, without a shadow of the doubt, the economic impact of the World Creole Music Festival and TV Village Creole was humongous. Your Dominica Labour Party government is working. Stable leadership, stable government, stable economy. Dominica is on the rise. But we cannot rest our laurels and not push to develop what we have been naturally blessed with. Having the second largest boiling lake in the world is a blessing. But even better will be having a cable car, which will allow many more people to enjoy this rare attraction. Works are ongoing. Rope lines and anchors are being installed. Upon completion, more jobs will be created for tour guides, restaurants, bars, vendors, and other auxiliary services. In Roseau, plans for the new cruise terminal are progressing very smoothly. This facility will allow us to attract many new and mega ships that are now coming off the production line. I am proud to say that Dominica will be one of the few ports in the Caribbean that can accommodate these new vessels when our new terminal is complete. This modern cruise terminal will also house a new vendors arcade. And yes, before you ask, I want to assure you, the new vendors arcade will promote everything local. Buy Dominica, labor rights. This is the hallmark of this government, empowerment of people. Even at the height of the COVID-19, we disbursed over 1 million from the small business unit. And this fiscal year, we allocated 6 million for added value products to encourage and empower people to use their creative talents and resources to produce local goods and services. Most times, at no fault of ours, such as the Russia-Ukraine war, which has caused significant inflation globally, we have to find solutions and the money to cushion the impact on our people. This is why on Independence Day this year, the Honorable Prime Minister announced the introduction of a 2-year contract for the NEP workers. Labor! We take the affairs of the country seriously because we naturally care for you. When something affects you, even if we are not able to tackle that aspect immediately, it affects us. We are focused on the future, and we have to be ready to deal with what's ahead post-COVID-19. While our achievements in tourism are great, I am only able to be an effective minister of government because of the love, support, understanding, and prayers of the people that I love so dearly, who elected me to be their member of parliament. Point Michel, Galio, Soufriere, and Scott said, I love you. They are the reason why I am so passionate about building a more dynamic Dominica. As the success of Dominica means that their lives and that of their children will be more prosperous. My constituency was one of the most severely hit by Hurricane Maria. And although this government has built new homes and assisted many families, we still have many families to provide housing for and provide more resilient homes for. Over 10 young people have benefited from the housing grant program so far, receiving $10,000 each. And despite the ongoing pandemic, our Prime Minister approved the construction of 32 homes in the first phase in Point Michel, 16 in Point Michel, and 16 in Scottshead, under the Resilient Housing Development Program managed by MMCE, costing over $28 million. And I have even greater news. 12 new homes were approved to be constructed on individual lots for families in Soufriere, Galio, and Scottshead. So I want my people to rest assured that I will remain focused on addressing our housing needs in the constituency. More homes will be constructed. Sports development is also critical, as we are known for being among the best in the country in football, cricket, and volleyball. So I commence the rehabilitation of the Brooklyn playing field, and from reports on completion, it is expected to be a top-notch playing field. In the next term of government, I will ensure that the multi-purpose courts in our constituency are all upgraded and ready for hosting games. I also intend to have further discussions with DFA to finalize a plan for the redevelopment of the Point Michel playing field. It is an over 40-year-old dream, which I believe we can tackle in phases. So I need my youth to understand that having delays in project execution doesn't mean that it will not happen. I will deliver on my promise, just as I have delivered on other promises. This is the Labour Party way. Labour!
Shall not be.
In agriculture, we have already received the designs and approvals to build 2 slipways in Scottshead and Soufriere respectively, and a fishing processing plant will be constructed in Scottshead. It has already been approved. Soon, people will be able to visit our facility to purchase fish that is well cleaned, smoked, seasoned, and sliced at a standard that meets any international regulation. There are a few fishers who are waiting to receive their boats, and I want to assure them we shall deliver on our promises to you. I know that it can be frustrating because this is your livelihood, but this Dominica Labour Party will not let you down. I also want to thank my youth team. One key project which will be started in the first quarter of 2023 is a youth farm near the Sulphur Springs area. This farm is expected to create employment and get our youth engaged in productive activities. In terms of infrastructure, I expect work to commence in the first quarter of next year on the broken section of the sea defense wall in Garlet. I want to thank the constituents of Scottshead for their patience and understanding. The pandemic hindered our ability to commence the wall, but let me say to my people that the government who spent millions to build the Soufriere Scottshead sea defense wall will certainly be the government to repair it. It was Labour who built your wall, and Labour will fix it. Many constituencies are envious of us because we have 2 jetties in the constituency. The goal now is to make Soufriere an official port in Dominica, so we will have our own customs and immigration. Labour!
Labour Party shall not be moved.
In terms of tourism, we are well on our way to becoming a tourism mecca in Dominica. In Jungle Bay and Culebri Ridge, we have 2 5-star resorts which have received outstanding accolades, as I mentioned earlier. The focus now is to develop and upgrade facilities around our attraction spots. The designs for facilities in Champagne and Scottshead Peninsula are complete, and the goal is to commence those projects in the first quarter of 2023. And I can already hear, what about the Soufriere Sulphur Springs? My people of Soufriere, that project was already on the cards for next year, so I will work on it. I want, when you leave here tonight, you leave with the assurance that the plans to transform our constituency into the mecca of our dreams has begun. Brick by brick, stone by stone, we shall get it done. Labour is still the best choice for Soufriere. Labour is still the best choice for Dominica. Labour rights! I have shared this much because I recognize that at times we don't realize that we are making progress as a people and a country. We have a glass full before us because Labour gets things done. Labour power!
Labour Party shall not be moved.
So I want my people of Gallio to rest assured that your housing needs will be addressed and your multi-purpose center will be constructed when we win the next general election. When I entered politics, I offered myself for service. I didn't do it for fame or status. I entered because I genuinely wanted to continue the hard work of those before me and execute a God-given vision that would ensure that we can have stronger families, more employment, and more opportunities for small business development. It was to ensure that my fishers, fishmongers, and farmers within an hour can sell their catch of the day and farmers sell their crops. Next year is expected to be a very productive year for us. Apart from the ongoing projects and projects to be funded once you give us the mandate on December 6th, a grant has been approved to address the Alum Stream matter. So your PAL rep has been working and shall continue to work to ensure that we become an economic hub. Kone Kon La Viwe, Fête La Poète, Crop Fest are some of the initiatives to boost spend in the constituency. The Mecca shall be the place to be in the South. So, I have been there for you in good times and bad times. I know that some of you are disappointed and some of you are just frustrated. I too get frustrated when I can't deliver on schedule or your requests are delayed. But when one actually reflects on the pandemic that this government had to face just 3 months after assuming office, all I ask is your understanding and an opportunity to deliver on the promises that I made to you. If labor isn't in the house, the other side will not build your homes. Just like they will not fund the NEP nor pension for seniors. Ladies and gentlemen, these initiatives aren't a stipulation of the government. These are the policies of the Dominica Labour Party. So I ask that you never take your benefits for granted. The only serious party in Dominica, the only party with a tried, tested, and committed leader is the Dominica Labour Party. The former leader from the other side abandoned sheep, and now he's trying to crawl his way back like it didn't happen. The people of Dominica don't want immature, tantrum-throwing leadership. They want sound, stable leadership. We are the best choice, and we will deliver. Labor! So my constituents, let's keep the Sufure constituency glowing in red and give Portsmouth some competition as the House of Labour. Special thanks to my NEP teams, Constituency Association, my advisory group, my youth groups, my office teams, my family and friends, and all constituents for your commitment and drive to help me create a stronger Point Michel, a stronger Galio, a stronger Scotshead, and a stronger Sufure. Together, we will continue to make things happen. My success depends on you. I look forward to humbly serving you again come December 6th. But it is up to you to decide by going out to vote Labour. Vote for the best choice for Dominica by showing up in large numbers at the polls. Remember, stability is key. May God bless our beautiful country and people. Forward we go with Labour. Dynamic Dominica.